Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the #1 place for spiritual people who are interested in dreams and the dream world and connecting with spirit to gain insight and clarity and guidance on their day-to-day lives. In this video, I'm going to be sharing all the dream oracle messages for the upcoming full moon in Leo. So that falls on February 8th or 9th, depending on what time zone you're in. However, I do want to point out that if you are coming to this video at a later date, that's perfect. It just means it's the right time for you to be hearing these messages. So it's not that these are entirely time sensitive messages. They can be applied at any time in your life. So whenever you're here, it's the perfect timing for you. For those of you who are new to me, I'm a dream oracle, and what that means is I have a unique gift where I can go into the dream world while I'm asleep, and I can connect with spirit and ask for guidance and insights and get questions answered, and that is what I'm sharing today. I'm sharing the dream oracle messages that they wanted me to share with you at this time. So if you're curious to know what spirit wants to share with you right now, then stay watching. Okay, so how this is going to work is I'm going to share the dream with you, and then after that I will go through the dream and share all the messages and what all the symbols meant and what spirit was sharing with me. So in this dream, I was at my friend's house, and for some reason I was baking bread there, and I started making the bread and I was kneading it and I was letting it rise, and then it came back and I was kneading it some more, and then halfway through I was like, you know what, I think I want to make this into like pizza dough and a pizza crust instead. So then I started like pushing it out to like flatten it and making it into like this rectangular piece of dough. And then I was thinking about it and I was like, no, I think I want to make bread again. So I like crumpled it all up, made it into a ball, and then I was kneading it. And then as I was kneading it, it like got really dry and crusty, and it wasn't like the perfect kind of texture of bread anymore. And actually before I changed my mind to make it into a pizza crust, it was like really perfect and like perfectly round and rising nicely. And then I made the pizza crust and then I changed my mind, and then it was just kind of like flat and not really doing what I wanted it to do, but I still put it in the oven anyway. And then I don't know what happened, because then the dream switched, and it switched to this outdoor setting. And there was this river. So there was this development that was happening kind of on this hillside. And the developer had also built a house in the community that he was developing all these properties that he was going to sell. And in this area, there was this river, this beautiful river that kind of went through the whole area. And he took this river and he had the river like run through his property and kind of through his house and through his pool. So he wasn't actually using like a normal pool, how you have a pool with the water. It was like the river was going through, and he made this pool area and it ran through. And so he was like, it was like illegal, he wasn't allowed to do it, but he was like really arrogant and he didn't care. So he was like, I'm just gonna do this anyway. And so he had this river running through his house. And then the river went through his house, and I remember like going through the outside, because it was kind of like it went through like the patio of his house, and I remember going through, and there wasn't really much happening at the house. It was like kind of dark and like kind of boring, and then the river traveled through to this big kind of pool lake area. It was actually more like a pool, because I remember seeing like the tiles of the pool in the water. And I was given, when I got to this pool, there was all these other people there, and I was given this package with a snorkel and mask and like scuba diving fins for my feet. And I put them on, and I remember like swimming around, and I could breathe underwater even when I was like really deep underwater. Not just at the surface like how you normally use the snorkel and mask to breathe, but I was like down under, and there was like, it was like people were just like having this party. It was like this big pool party. And I remember thinking like, wow, like my feet in real life are really small, and like anytime I ever go anywhere and use flippers, they're always too big and they always fall off my feet, and it's super annoying. And but these ones, I was like amazed that they like fit so well. And I remember sitting on the edge of the pool, and I was talking to these two people, and I was saying like, how impressed I was that these flippers weren't falling off my feet. And the one piece that I couldn't get was like the mouth guard piece for my snorkel. It wasn't quite fitting right. And the guy was like, oh, this is how you fix it. This is how you adjust it. You just put these here, you take this piece off, and there you go. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Everything fits perfectly and I'm having such a good time and this is great. And then I woke up. So let me decipher and decode what this dream was all about and share with you the messages that Spirit was sharing with me during this whole process. So the beginning part with the bread. This is, there's actually a few things in this. I feel like it's pretty obvious, but the first thing is like the clarity piece on, you know, how I was going to make the bread and then I changed my mind and made pizza, and then I changed my mind again going back to my plan A of making bread. And how, yes, life flows, and oftentimes we make a plan and then that plan shifts. What Spirit is saying right now and what they were saying to me during the dream was like, yes, it's good to be able to flow, but right now, for whatever reason, it's really good to take your time and gain that clarity and really feel into what it is that you want to create. Because before I switched to making the pizza dough, the bread was like perfect and it was rising perfectly and it was doing its thing. And if I just put it in the oven and like gave it the space to cook and do its thing, it would have been this perfect loaf of bread. But instead I changed my mind, and then I was kneading it after. I decided to make the bread again after the pizza, and then it kind of like fell. And so what Spirit was saying is like, really less is more, and we don't need to overwork things. We don't need to overdo things. Like right now is the time of kind of slowing down and taking that time to feel into what it is that we want to create and be clear on what it is that we want to create, and allowing Spirit and the universe the space to also come in and allow that bread to rise, allow what it is that you're creating, allow Spirit to like breathe life into it and bring it to life in a natural way and let things kind of unfold in its own time. And it will actually, like, there was this energy of softness, of instead of like rushing, if you just allow that softness and things to flow, it actually flows better and will be more efficient than if you're like running around like a busy bee trying to get all these things done and like changing your mind because you think doing it this way will be better than what you originally started off. Like if you feel like you want to change your mind about something, just like stop and ask yourself, why do I want to change my mind? Does this really feel like the right thing right now? Or should I just stay the course and relax and allow Spirit to come in and do its thing? So that was a message with the bread. The message with the river and the arrogant developer, this is talking really about our shadow sides and our inner world. And it's really a time right now where we are invited to allow things to flow more within ourselves. So where are we being arrogant? Where are we not... it's like shadow work. What parts of ourselves can we let go of? Because the way that the river was coming in, that like water is often very like emotional pieces, like the undercurrents of what's going on inside of ourselves. So, and when it went through that house, it was like the house, this guy's property, it was, like I said, it was like this boring kind of dead feeling. So where in your life do you feel that way? And where can you allow more love to flow in, and more grace and more peace and more joy to flow in, and wash away all that, those, for lack of a better term, but like negative feelings, negative emotions, the arrogance, the dullness, the things that need to shift. What needs shifting in your life? What needs to be let go of? What do you need to allow to flow away and release in your world? So like, what can you shift, heal, and release in your life right now to allow that flow to come in? Because once you do that, you go into this big pool. And that was the last part of the messages, was when I went into this big pool with all these other people. It was like this beautiful community of people, because before that, in the house of this arrogant developer, there was nobody, and like I said, it kind of felt dead. Like it was dark, there was no lights on, but you move through that. So this is a time of movement and reflection, and you go through that and you end up in this big pool of community. There was like people of all kinds of ethnic backgrounds. There was children, there was adults and seniors, and everybody was in joy and everybody was in community together. And so this is kind of like a reflection of like what will happen once you allow this like shifting and flowing. And I think maybe that's kind of the energy that's coming through for over the next couple of weeks as you move through this energy that the full moon brings. And what's really interesting is like the flippers and the snorkel and mask, how they didn't fit. Like all my life, they like never fit. And then in my dream, I'm like, I finally find some that fit. And it's just like everything fits. Everything will go together. Everything. And the help with the guy who was helping me adjust my snorkel mouthpiece, and how it's like, okay, there might be like something that doesn't quite work, but like through the help of others, you find the answers and you find things that will fit, and all the pieces will come together nicely in your life. So yeah, this really represents like a sign of growth and this opportunity that this full moon energy, or whenever it is that you're coming to watch this video, is right now. There's this energy that's moving for you and supporting you through this flowing of releasing and letting go, and taking that inspired action with clarity, and allowing spirit to work with you and through you to grow into this beautiful space where you'll be filled with more love, with more joy, with more connection with other people and community, and things fitting and coming together. So I am like really stoked about these messages, because I feel like it actually pertains to my life as well, and I hope they resonate with you. So if these messages are helpful and they've made sense, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You know the drill. You're on YouTube. You've watched this a million times. Everybody says this stuff. So, but it would mean so much to me if you gave this a thumbs up, left me a comment, let me know what message resonated with you the most. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. You can also connect with me on Instagram. Next week, I think I'm going to do a Q&A video, because I've been getting a lot of questions coming in, and I think maybe this would be a great platform for me to answer them on. So with that said, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I would love to answer them for you. And also, if you wanted to book a private dream oracle reading with me, then I would love to do that for you. My private dream oracle readings are different in the sense where I really focus and work on the subconscious world that's happening within you around whatever it is that you want clarity on in your life. So it can be really interesting, because I can uncover the blocks and barriers that are within yourself that are preventing you from seeing or attracting or moving into whatever it is that you're desiring to attract into your life. So thank you so much for watching. If you are interested in connecting with spirit in your dream worlds and connecting with your spirit guides, then watch this video here. I've put the link in the description below. I share 7 tips on how you can start doing this in your life when you go to sleep each night. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week. Bye.